Hey, great. Okay, welcome everybody. I just want to say I'm very excited about this. I have known Eric Worre since the mid 90s. I knew him when he was an co-owner with Jeff Olson, who is the CEO of the company that I'm currently with. And he did power trainings with Jeff that were all day long, 10 hours, loved it. He's been an industry leader as a distributor in the field, company owner, and then I don't know how many years ago he decided he really wanted to elevate the network marketing community and bring quality training, bring quality people together. I'm actually part of a mastermind with Eric that he has of top leaders around the globe. I shared with him that my friend Trisha Kavanaugh of many decades, top leader, wanted to share him with her team. And I've invited a lot of different people on here. So we've got people from around the globe, from many different companies. And I just want to give a shout out, Eric, to Trisha, because she's coming to the GoPro Live event along with people on her team, Di, Cleo, Cami, Nick and Maria and Jason. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to introducing Trisha to you in person, Eric. And I am going to get out of the way because I know there's still people joining, but I'm ready with pen and paper to take notes. I always learn something, even though I've been involved in network marketing now for 39 years. And I told everybody on here, I started when I was 2. So Eric, take it away. Okay, you have to unmute. Oh, I have to, oh shoot. Hang on a second. You guys asked me to mute everybody, and then I didn't unmute Eric. Miko, help. I made you a co-host. Okay, here we go.
There we go. How you doing?
Doing great.
Everybody can hear me okay?
Perfect.
Well, it's good to see you. Good to see you. And hi, Trisha. How you doing? And who else did I just see? One of my other friends that were just on here a second ago. Let's have turned her camera. Jennifer. Jennifer was on here a second ago. She turned her camera on. She's back. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing? Hey, what's going on, network marketing community? How are you dealing with this this whirlwind of change and like shifting landscape in our profession? It's changing an awful lot, isn't it? Yeah, I've been around a lot.
We have everybody muted. Do you want me to
No,
let
it's
them
okay.
unmute?
It's okay. It's okay. I'll
put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll ask questions
if you guys
in
have
the chat. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
There
But
you go. Okay, cool.
put it into the chat. How long have you been involved in the profession? How many years, if you're willing to admit? Some veterans. So you've seen this movie before, some of you. Here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, I'm proud of all of you for your commitment to this profession and its changing landscape. There's an awful lot of things that have happened over the past 3-4 years specifically. 3 years have been really weird, and also congratulations, Leslie, to you and your company, and to Jeff specifically for winning the battle with the FTC. That was a huge, huge gift to the entire profession. I mean, it's not a solution to everybody's problems. There's still some stuff that we have to do to clean things up and stay out of the crosshairs of regulators. But what a spanking Neora gave to the FTC after being kind of bullying a lot of companies for a lot of years. They have not had a good month, which I don't mind at all. The overreach was a little bit aggressive, or more than a little bit aggressive. And and Jeff and I have known each other for a long time, back to 1990 maybe. So what has that been? Gosh, it's a long time. Holy mackerel. I'm getting up there. So yeah, we met a very, very long time ago, worked together for many years. And he's going to be coming and speaking at GoPro actually, and talking about the, the battle with the FTC, lessons learned, uh, what companies and distributors can do to protect themselves moving forward. Um, what are the tea leaves that you can read from this ruling, and how we can all kind of do better moving forward. So I'm happy to have that. We have a CEO summit that we're doing 2 days before. We've got about like 100 different companies that are going to be represented at that. That's private for executives. Um, and that's on that Wednesday before. So he's going to be speaking at that as well. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to talk to all of you. It is an amazing time to be in network marketing. And it might not feel that way to some of you, depending on what happened with you during the pandemic. But I was talking with a top, one of the legacy companies, and not like $1 billion company, but here was their story. Solid company doing $25 million a month in sales, 300 million a year, just prior to pandemic. And the first year, like many people, they had a big spike, and they went from 25 million a month to 70 million a month. And then they came back down post pandemic, like most, to the same 25 million. And when that happens, you have like one of two stories to tell. One is we're down 60%. It's disaster. We have to change the comp plan. We have to change something. We need a promotion. We got to do. People are leaving. The people think it's over. So the headline becomes doom and gloom off of this peak that happened during pandemic. Or your story can be we were very, very stable throughout the entire pandemic when most companies weren't, and we also had a spike in the middle of it that paid people a whole bunch of money. So the work is ahead. You got to decide how you're going to control the headline within your different organizations, how you're going to control the narrative. Both of those are true. Both of those are true. You just got to decide which one's in the best interest of your business. So from that, I have a unique view of what's going on in the network marketing world. I see across a couple hundred companies and what's working and what's not working. Who's in momentum and who's not. And I do have an opinion on momentum in general. And let me just start with that. How many of you have ever experienced momentum? I mean, everything was working. It was just like everything's on fire. Put a 1 in the chat if you've experienced momentum at some point in your life or your career. Almost all of you have experienced some level of momentum, right? It's just like, hey, this is like magic. Everybody's joining, everybody's rank advancing, checks are going up, companies announcing how much they're doing in sales, how many distributors they're adding every month and every day. They're an open book. When somebody leaves the company, they don't care. Everything's wonderful, right? And that usually lasts about 12 to 18 months, something like that. There's been a few companies in the last 10 years that have defied that and kind of had 20, 30% growth year over year for like 8 years. But as a general rule, momentum's like 18 months, and you never know what's going to trigger it. It might be a new impact product. It might be a comp plan change. It might be a big leader joins and creates a lot of noise. It might be a simple, tiny little system. I had one leader I worked with that all they did was they did a welcome Zoom with every single person that joined their team. And that's all they did. And they made sure everybody in the team did that in depth. And that one thing tipped them into momentum. Sometimes it's a tool. Sometimes, you build a strong events culture like some of you have at some point in your career where events were just crushing and it made the rest of your work easy. So you never know where it's going to come from. It comes from a million different places. But you do know one thing. If you've seen this movie before, after fall comes winter. Every time. Every time that there is momentum, there's the other side of momentum. And that's not the fun part, because that's when things become work. And during momentum, I remember, some of you remember Visalis? Anybody remember Visalis? And all the crazy momentum Visalis was having, just unbelievable. There and every time somebody has momentum, they think they've reinvented network marketing. They all become geniuses. They're just like, we've the old model's dead. Here's the new model. We've reinvented it. I remember when they had I think it was BMWs. They were giving away BMWs during they had a big car program, super aggressive car program. And on the other side of that momentum, I mean, Visalis is gone, obviously, because sometimes people cannot handle it on the other side of momentum. But like BMW blackballed anybody connected with that company. They would not lease a car to them like 18 months after that big spike in activity happened. Because here's what I would tell you about momentum. If you're in momentum right now, don't sleep. It's time to run. Run as hard as you can, get as much as you can, go, go, go. But also, if you've seen this movie before, prepare your people for the fact that it will not go forever. At the other side of momentum, you have to continue to drive through fundamentals. I mean, it's really two things. If you're not in momentum, here's how you get back to momentum. Strong, aggressive push into fundamentals, which many of those fundamentals were lost during pandemic or forgotten for a moment during pandemic. Face-to-face, for example. If you want to know a big trend right now, face-to-face is a big trend. Person-to-person is a big trend. Swinging back from pure virtual into physical interaction. That's working. So hard edification of fundamentals, promotion of fundamentals, recognition of fundamentals, reinforcement of fundamentals, tightening your systems. And second part, is quantity is the solution to almost all of your problems. So you just need to have more conversations. All business is conversation. So how can you get everybody in your team into a place where they're having more conversations than they were having without you as a leader? So more conversations plus fundamentals, that will build a business. And would it surprise you to know that there's been many billion-dollar companies built without momentum ever? Billion-dollar companies. It's not required for you to build a big business. What's required is great fundamentals, lots of quantity, and great leadership. That's it. I'm talking from the field perspective. Obviously, the companies have things that they need to do in order to be able to support that. But anyway, I just had a leadership call about momentum just a half an hour ago, so it's fresh on my mind, and I just thought I'd drop that in as we start. But right now we face a very interesting time, and it's good news and bad news depending on how you look at it. And the fact that you're on the Zoom, we're having this conversation, leads me to believe it's probably good news for you. Is, in my opinion, and from my viewpoint, the next 12 months are going to be the most volatile 12 months that I've witnessed in 35 years in network marketing. So much transition, so much unrest, so much restlessness and discontent, so much blame being thrown around, so much dysfunction. And I mean, that's always been around our profession for the last 35 years, but here's what I think has exaggerated it. for many of you, you've been around for a while. So you've seen this process many, many times, but how many of you consider yourself tough? Consider yourself a tough network marketer. Put a 3 in the chat just so I can see. You consider yourself tough? Yeah, a few of you. So I would just ask, and it's a rhetorical question. I'll answer it for you. What made you tough? Was it momentum and good times? Or was it getting punched in the face? Was it having your heart broken? Was it dealing with betrayal? Was it dealing with difficulty, people no showing, people quitting your team, people leaving and joining another company and telling lies about you? What is it? Having to rebuild a line again in order to be able to get to your spot? Or like for the 10th time? It's what makes you tough, right? In the early days, it was going to somebody's home party and they invited 28 people and 0 people showed up, and you have to sit there for 2 hours re-enrolling your distributor who's totally heartbroken. Remember those days? Maybe it's been a minute since maybe you've done one of those, but are dealing with a no-show. I remember I drove to somebody's house. They're doing a home party to launch their business. I drove 3 hours to do a home party for this person, and they wouldn't answer the door. They were home. I could see them through the curtain, but they were too embarrassed because nobody showed up. And I'd driven 3 hours and they wouldn't open the door. I'm like, come on, let's at least let me use your bathroom or something. They finally let me in. And then I had sat there for an hour and a half and re-enrolled them. And come on, let's go. Let's talk about how you invited people. Let's figure this thing out. I mean, that's what we go through, right? So here's what happened in pandemic that made this kind of unique is pandemic hits. And within 2 months, normally we have, if you like a NFL football example, ladies, if you don't care about that, sorry, but you'll understand the example. You have the pros on the field. And maybe in the all-stars, even in that group, all-stars. And then you have the pros who are playing the game. Then you have the semi-pros that are on the practice squad ready to go. And then you have college. And then you have high school. And then you have, grade school. Then you have peewees. We all started off as peewees and we worked our way up by getting punched in the face and dealing with it, being strong and, building our muscles and getting our resilience and getting where we needed to go. Okay. So in about 2 months, in the space of like 2-3 months, our entire farm team stopped working. All of them. And the leaders, the pros that are on the field, you started doing everything for everyone. You did all the meetings, all the trainings, all the Zooms, all the invites, all the promos, all the marketing, all of the everything. And coming out of pandemic, instead of people, being used to getting hit and getting back up and getting hit and getting back up, the wind blows in these people's faces and they start crying. I mean, the tiniest little issue shows up and they're just like, I can't handle it. The company's got to do something. My upline won't help me. And, this isn't what I signed up for. And they're like, really? I'm asking you to have 3 conversations with a prospect. And that's too much for you? Yes, I'm overwhelmed. I'm depleted. You don't understand. So I don't know if any of you have dealt with this, but this is a global pandemic after the pandemic inside of network marketing. Weak field leaders. I won't even call them leaders. Weak field participants. I've learned through the years that there's a huge difference between earners and leaders. We developed some earners during pandemic, but not necessarily leaders. Because earners just lose their mind when something changes. Leaders deal with it, right? So anyway, here we are in the situation where now we take the ball and we hand the ball to our people who are somewhere in the farm team, and they burst into tears and they go home. And we're like, gosh, this feels weird. This feels different, because here's the worst part. The field as a group is extraordinarily weak at this moment. And they have a lot of excuses. And these excuses have been the same excuses that I've dealt with for the last 35 years. But they feel different because of pandemic, because of the economy, because of this, because of that. So they went as a group to the leaders and said, you got to do something. This is a disaster. You know, we're 60% down. You got to do something. So the leaders are looking at each other like, do this feel this? Are you hearing this? Yep, I'm hearing this. So most of them overreacted, and they go to the companies and say, we're going to lose the whole company if you don't do something. And the company's already operating on very, very thin margins. They, for the most part, not everybody, they overreacted. And they started throwing promos and contests and buy one, get one free and flash sales. And they're getting ready to overreact on Black Friday and Cyber Monday again. I mean, I'm sure. But because of that, it made the field addicted to promos. Any of your teams addicted to promos where the comp plan's not enough? They have to have a contest, incentive, a giveaway, something in order to be able to get their attention. It's true for a lot of companies. So the companies squeeze their margin down to like nothing. And they don't have the ability to innovate like they want to and take care of the field the way they want to. So this is a little bit of straight talk to all of you as leaders, because just out of respect for you, the price you paid. Now, why do I say this is a big opportunity? Because in the next 12 months, there's going to be a lot of movement, and the strong are going to get all the rewards. Strong in terms of leadership, strong in terms of systems, strong in terms of brand, strong in terms of fundamentals. There will be a flight to safety, because you're going to see companies that normally would slowly go out of business in 3 years. They're going to go out of business in 6 months. And those people are going to be looking for a home. I'm telling you, you're already seeing lots of transfer happen. You're hearing the rumblings from different. Well, this top leader just left that company. This top one was setting up their another company, and they got found out and they got terminated. And so now they're over here, and there's this lawsuit here, and there's this thing here, and there's movement everywhere. All kinds of movement going on, and the strong are going to get it all. So you're never going to be more rewarded for your experience and your leadership and your calm and your ability to be a lighthouse in the storm than right now. You've got to prepare your people to capture this moment, to capture this opportunity. And it is a powerful moment. And I think I will say it this way: apathy, indifference, indecision, complacency is going to get smashed. And innovation, creativity, branding, don't change your fundamentals, but maybe, freshen up the look and the style of what it is that you're doing, and telling your story very, very well, building great systems, creating duplicatable processes, getting people into more action is never going to get more rewarded in the next 12 to 18 months. So, and I will tell you that you might think you have time. You might think, you know what, I'll start in January. I'll start in February. I got some stuff going on right now. I've been around for a while. It'll be okay. I think you'll regret that later. I don't think you have as many months or even weeks as you think. I think days matter right now. If you get in front of this and you be strong and you kind of temper your emotional, encouraging empath, I don't know how many of you are empathetic people, but I'm an empath, which means I have to really be careful how I respond when people are hurting. Specifically field leaders in this case. But I mean, if I go to a hospital and visit a sick friend, I get sick. Not because there's any bug going on, because I'm so freaking empathetic that my body just like attracts it. It's the weirdest thing ever. But if I have somebody who's really hurting, my my default reaction is to commiserate with them and say, gosh, I'm sorry that that happened. And, you know, I'm sure it's not your fault. And I just try to be as kind as I can be. And that is, in this moment, the wrong approach. This is the moment to be the tough parent and say, stop it. This belief system is not serving you. You are not a victim here. There's things that you can control. Let's focus on that. No, it's not the comp plan. No, it's not the flavor of the product. No, it's not the sweetener that the company uses. No, it's not the technology. It's not the back office. It's not the fact that our website isn't as cool as Amazon's. It's not any of those things. It's you. And if you want to be part of the solution, I'll help you. But I'm not going to wallow around in commiseration with you and agree with you that it's not ultimately your responsibility to build your business. You're given tools, you're given resources. I will help you with systems and leadership and training, but you're going to have to do the work, young lady, young man. I can't do it for you. And I'm certainly not going to agree with your list. I'm just not. This is a time for strength, folks. And it will be rewarded. And the more you commiserate with your team, because you're feeling bad because they're checked in half. Some of you people have people on your team that, and it sucks to one time be making 50 grand a month and now you're making 25. You feel like you're poor. Or you're making 400,000, now you're making 100,000. It's just like you're on food stamps in our business. But you got to reframe the way they're looking at this thing and say, here's your foundation. And now let's see what we're going to do about it. You want to get back to where you were? You want to surpass where you were? You're going to have to become a different kind of person. But we can do this together. The message of every single leader in the history of the world is this: there's a promised land, and we can get there together. That's it. This is what every great leader has ever said at any point in time. There's a better way, and we can get there together. Come, let's do it. Let's go make it happen. But you have to be strong now, all of you. Strength is going to be rewarded. Weakness is going to be punished. And the market is not emotionally involved in your decision of which one you're going to be. It's just going to show you your results. So, was this what you tuned in for? This hard talk. I hope it is. I hope it's okay that I'm straight with you, because the reason why I'm straight is I really give a damn. Over my 35 years, and the last 15 years have just been generically training. I've helped about 1,000 people make $1 million a year, and I've helped tens of thousands of people make six figures. I know what I'm talking about in this space, and I know what's working and what isn't in this space, and I know the constants when it comes to fundamentals and systems. And most of your systems are in bad need of strengthening. They just are. I mean, if I asked you on systems, you're all leaders here, right? This is being cruel to be kind. Jeanette says, yeah, well, at least I'm straight, right? I'm not going to give you some Pollyanna thing. Here's how you get out of it. But talk about systems just for a moment. Because systems, that's all a business is a collection of systems. You agree? So you have a system when everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. That's when you know you have it. You don't have a system when you have something that will work if people will do it, but they won't do it. That's not a system. That's just a wish. Everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. That's when you know you have a system. And if it's not written down, there's no way that everybody's going to know it and everybody's going to do it. So what is your customer gathering system right now? Could you show it to me in a document that's not 48 steps long? Could you show me? What is your system for customer retention, which is almost always ignored? To keep a customer engaged longer. What's your system for it? What's your system for recruiting? What's your system for keeping distributors around longer, distributor retention? What's your system to get people to core rank? What's your system to get people to events? What's your system for communication? What's your system for recognition? What is it? Show me. Don't tell me, show me. I work with a lot of seven-figure earners, and they are pedaling as fast as they can to strengthen their systems. Because most distributors have just been waiting for the company to do it, which is the last thing you want, frankly, because companies are notorious for putting out boring systems. They're kind of famous for it. All the great systems come from the field, the innovation, the style, the excitement, the movement. Make sure you're compliant, of course, but strengthen those systems, right? So whoever has the strongest systems is going to attract everybody. Whoever has the strongest leadership in the field is going to attract everybody. Whoever has the most duplication is going to attract everybody. Whoever's got the most who's most known because they got a little momentum right now is going to attract everybody. And guess who needs to make that happen? You guys do. So I say all that to say this. It's a great time, and most of you have been around for a long time, we're cousins. We're kind of extended family. I've been around since 1988, doing this crazy thing before some of you were born, and I think the best years for network marketing are in our future, not in our past. There will always be a need to educate the consumer. There will always be a need for word of mouth advertising. It's the most trusted form in the world. There will always be a need for networks to be able to leverage their strength and their reach when other forms of marketing and advertising can't. There will always be that need. No matter what happens, don't let anybody let you think that network marketing might be in trouble. It's silly nonsense. Its golden age is in front of us when the only thing we're going to trust is word of mouth advertising. But we have to be prepared for the moment. We really do. So let me tell you one thing that I'm doing and how you can benefit from it, and you and your teams, and it's right around the corner. I don't know if you've ever, I'm assuming most of you have heard about the book or read the book GoPro, but I've been doing an event called GoPro, the GoPro Experience, for 14 years now. And this year is December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And I want to tell you about it, and I want to let you know how you can use it to leverage your teams. Okay? Whether you have big teams, small teams, active, inactive, doesn't matter. This is a leverage tool as much as it might be a little refresher for you. It's a leverage tool, December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And in past years, we ended up building this $20 million studio as a response to the pandemic. so we could continue to do events and reach the world. And we've turned it into like a hybrid type of an experience. There's like 500 people in person, and that's sold out. And then we broadcast it. We have got this crazy technology to broadcast it around the world live, and people can access it around the world. It's in previous years, I've had kind of, and you've seen these events, especially in our profession, where you see like this big collage of like 50 faces. Here's all the trainers that are going to be training, and everybody goes up for 15 minutes like a dance recital and tries to be Tony Robbins, and you know what I mean. And I've done the same. You know, I've invited too many people. This year, I'm stripping it down to bare bones. I'm the only one training. That's it. Day one on December 1st is 6 hours of training on what is working right now for you and your teams to be able to recruit in bigger numbers. If your team needs a recruiting boost, and I know that all of your teams do, I can show you what's working in real time, and I can train the people on your organization to increase the quantity of their recruiting in that one day. So they'll have a roadmap, they'll be equipped to go. Day two is all about duplication. Because you might be able to bring people in, but to get those people to go to work, I mean, the big theme right now with a lot of leaders, I just can't get anybody to go to work. Everybody's lazy. Not true. You just need to be a better leader. But duplication, there are things that are working right now for duplication that I'm going to be sharing on that day. Very specific strategies that are working with the fastest growing organizations in the world right now, kind of layered on top of the fundamental duplication strategies that have worked for 35 years and will work for the next 35. Combination of those two things is day two. How to duplicate, how to get people moving through the ranks faster, how to take a person who's dependent on you or the team and become independent so they can build with or without you. Day three is all about leadership. How you can become a more effective leader yourself, what leadership looks like in today's world, what are the attributes of a great leader, how can you strengthen them inside of yourself, how can you become more effective. And a great leader in our profession just gets people to do a little bit more than they would have done. That's our job. We're here to get people to take action that they weren't going to take, and have conversations they weren't going to have, and do presentations they weren't going to do, and face their fears and move forward and stay close to the fire and do all that stuff. So I'm going to spend the first part of day three on how you could become a more effective leader. And the second part, how do you specifically identify somebody that has the ability to be a great leader, has the potential? How do you mentor them into leadership in an effective way as quickly as possible? And how do you stay in great relationship with those people once they become leaders, so you don't have 15 different systems and 15 different personalities inside your organization and all kinds of ego and drama, conflict, because you haven't found a way to stay in great communication with those leaders as they develop. So that's day three. So basically 6 hours of training each day on that. And that's the event. Okay. And I think it's the most important one we've done in our 15 years by far. I think the profession needs it. I think everybody needs it. Your team needs it. And I think the more people you get to attend this event, the better off you're going to be, for sure. So here's what I will tell you. A couple things. Is Miko, are you on here?
Yeah, I'm on here.
All right, cool. She'll throw a link up in a second where you can get registered for this event. A ticket for this 3-day event is going to be broadcast directly into your home, to your phone, onto your TV, you know, whatever you need to do, fill up your living room, whatever you got to do to make an event inside the event. But a ticket's $197 for the 3 days. So financially, it's not a barrier. The training is worth an awful lot more than that. But I also want to give you a promotion for just attending today and for all of your teams for the next 24 hours. When you go to the link, can you put the link in? There it is. When you go to the link, Miko put it in there. Maybe copy that or take a screenshot of it, of that link, just so you have it. If you go to that link and if you use the coupon code when you're checking out of GoPro, that'll take $100 off the ticket for the next 24 hours. So instead of $197, it's just $97. And let me tell you something. I would do it for free if I thought people would value it. Honest and no kidding. I really would. I would just say, you know what? Just register, come to the event. But I've just learned from experience, they will not value it. They won't show up. They won't pay attention. Why do I throw $97 on it for you and your teams? Because I want everybody who gets a ticket to be a little bit annoyed that they're going to lose $97 if they don't sit down and take some notes for 3 days. You know, that's all I want. I want you just a little bit annoyed, you know, that I just wasted $100. So, I mean, the way I was pitching it to some different companies, different teams, it's like, look, if I agreed to come to your house and you can bring your entire team to your house and I'll fly to your home and I will train on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, everything I know about recruiting, duplication, and leadership. Would you want me to come to your house? Everybody says, yeah, I'd do that. Would you clear your calendar? Yep, I'd clear my calendar. Would you invite a lot of people to your house? Yep, I would. Okay. Would you pay $200 for me to come to your house? And I'll cover all the rest of the expenses. Let me sleep on the couch or something. Throw me a sandwich every once in a while. Would you take that deal? Everybody said, yeah, I'll do that. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I can't go to every single person's house individually, but I'm going to live go into everybody's living room individually via technology, and I'm going to deliver exactly what I just said for you and your entire team. You just have to bring your promotional muscle and get them close to the fire. You know, some of your team, the wood's wet a little bit. We need to light a fire again. Get them going. Have them, and I will tell you over these 3 days, I'm going to smash every limiting belief that exists in the world for network marketing. I'm just going to absolutely smash it. People who are going to try and walk out of that event and still hold on to these limiting beliefs are going to feel a little bit embarrassed because they're going to know in their heart it's not true. I'm going to smash them. And then I'm going to fill them with empowering beliefs and skills and training that they can use to not just crush 2024, but close 2023. You know the difference between having momentum on January 1 versus starting after January 1? It's like 5 times the results for the year of 2024. You go after this for the next 60 days hard. You use this as a project to close people, get them excited, fired up, have a campaign immediately December 4th when this thing ends that they can sink their teeth into. Go have more conversations, go get more recruits, go prepare and grow their teams for 2024, then the year's going to be easy. If you wait till after, you know, you're going to be pushing a rock uphill all year long. So I would wish better for you. So I say all of this to say, as my friends that have been around this for a long time, I want to help. And I think I'm prepared to help. I think I'm uniquely prepared to help. The event happens 9 a.m. Pacific time to approximately 5 p.m. Pacific time. We'll take a couple short breaks and we'll take a 1-hour lunch. I'm going to try and kind of go from 9 to maybe 4 for those 3 days. That's going to be my attempt. Um, but occasionally I'll get on a rant, as you can tell. So I'll try. I want to try and keep it like tight, tight. And for those of you who have people in international markets, that the timing might be inconvenient for them on that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For the first time ever, we're doing a delayed replay broadcast that will delay about 4 hours after the original starts. So if somebody's in Asia or whatever and they're getting up, whenever they get up in the morning, in previous years, we had to tell Australia, New Zealand, you have to start at 2 a.m., sorry. And they start at 2 a.m. and they'd go till noon. Now, whenever they get up, they'll start day 1, day 2, day 3. So there's 3 days of replay that'll go. We're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The replay will go until the end of Wednesday of the following week. So people will be able to watch as much as possible. So try to eliminate that limiting belief itself. Okay, so I hope you got the link and I hope you got the code. That code's good for 24 hours. And look, we are the superheroes of this profession. You and me. Some of you have forgotten that. Some of you need to put your cape on again. You need to be the badass again. You need to, what I tell people is like, remember when it was cranking in your company right now? When was the time when everything was working? Put a year in there. It was just all working. Everything was working. It was crushing. You were breaking records and you had momentum. What was happening? What was the year? Throw it in the chat. Give me a year. 2021, 93. Come on, Paul. We got to get that back again. So here's what I will tell you. Regardless of the year, the prospect hasn't changed. The prospect for your product, they haven't changed. The prospect for your opportunity, if anything, they're more open today than a side hustle, side gig, work from home type of a solopreneur business than they've ever been in my 35 years in network marketing. Are there distractions and competitors? Yes, you need to be a stronger leader. Are there, emotional issues in your group? Yes, you need to be a stronger leader. I want you to remember how strong you were when it was cranking and understand that the prospect hasn't changed, but maybe you did a little bit. Some of you have gone from being badass, kick-ass superhero leaders to ambassadors. You're an ambassador now. You go to events and you kiss babies and you take selfies and you sign autographs and, you do your thing and you show up and do a training here or there. But you're not, if you're honest, you're not doing what you did that got you where your peak was in this profession. It's time to find that piece again. Time to go beast mode. I don't need to go beast mode. Financially, I've been done a long time ago. I have all the toys. I have all the things. I've got all the stuff. I got stacks of money. You know why I'm doing what I'm doing? Because after money, the thing that will drive you and give you the most satisfaction ever is contribution. Being able to be part of somebody else's story. Some of you knew my friend Jessie Lee Ward, who I worked with for the last 7 or 8 years. And she passed away recently. It was like her birthday yesterday. I didn't need that to show up on my timeline. But she passed away from cancer about a month ago. And the thing that I love is since she passed away, nobody talked about how much money she made or what rank she had. Her legacy was measured by the people that she was able to help, the contribution she was able to make to our community. Your legacy is not in your rank. It's not in how much volume you're kicking out. It's not in any of that stuff. It's in the people that you're helping to become a better version of themselves. So I don't know if somebody needed to remind you that you are a badass people developer, that you're awesome at that. But if you needed a reminder, let this be the reminder. Find somebody and pour yourself into them. And if you do, you get to live forever. You know, pour yourself into another human being or a group of people. They need it now more than any other time. They need leadership now more than any other time. So I hope this is your time. I hope this is your moment. And if you needed a little bit of somebody pouring into you, hopefully this conversation was for you. You know, I don't know how many people. We've got 126 people here. I came to talk to 20 of you. You know, the rest of you, I'm glad you came. Hope you got some good notes. Hope you can maybe make a few extra bucks. But I came to talk to 20 of you. I don't know who it's going to be, but we're going to know. We'll know in the next 12 months because you're going to be really loud in the next 12 months. You're going to flex in the next 12 months. So for all of you, I hope you find a better version of yourself and you capture this moment. The world needs you. So I'll pass it back to Leslie and to Tricia. Thank you for hosting me. And I hope you guys crush the rest of this month. I hope you get a ton of people to GoPro. And I promise you, I'll deliver over those 3 days. Okay? So, mwah.
Thank you. Much love. Looking forward to getting a hug in December. Thank you.
I can't
I
wait.
needed to hear that too.
Good.
Beast mode.
Have a
Beast
great day,
mode.
everybody.
Bye. So just very quickly, everybody, the link for the discount coupon is in the chat. Also, if Eric's team told me that if you want a recording of what we just did to share with your teams, then make sure that you registered. I know a lot of you joined live on this Zoom just by a direct link. So if you've got the link from Tricia or myself to actually register, and I put it in the chat as well, I could put it down here again. And Tricia, I'll send you directly the link with the coupon code and all of that. So if you want to replay, go register. They'll send it out when it processes. Tricia, did you want to say anything to your team? I think we've got people on here from multiple companies, as you know, lots of friends of mine around the globe. But for those of you that just joined us, Tricia and I have known each other for decades.
Amazing nuggets. I mean, just even some of the nuggets he shared is up to set us to have the most amazing 2024. I just think it's unmissable. His 3 days, I think it's unmissable. I think what he's going to share is going to, like he said, set up the most extraordinary year ahead. It's really exciting. So Leslie, we'll see each other in Las Vegas
In less than a month, or in about a month. A month from tomorrow. So we'll celebrate, and I look forward to meeting some of your team. And thank you, everybody. Let me know if you've got my number directly. I'll be happy to send you out the link in the chat to register, and I'll send you the coupon code. So, and I think Eric might still be on here, but coupon code will last a couple of more days. So I'll make sure that happens. See you later. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Leslie.
guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Love you much.